Okay, tell everybody who you are.
I am JD Brown, and I am here at the Novel Experience event in Atlanta.
Okay, well, tell us about what you write.
I write urban fantasy, paranormal, mainly vampires and shapeshifters.
Okay, um, tell me the title of one of your books.
The series that I'm known for is the Emma Mark series, and the first book is called Dark Heirloom, and then there's Dark Liaison and Dark Becoming, and there's the prequel novella, which is called Athena's Oracle, and then
Okay.
there's another novella that's about to come out next month called The Warrioress. So that's all of them so far.
Were you a reader of the genre before you were a writer in it? Or?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. I love vampires. When I was young, I started with Anne Rice, and then went to Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and then Twilight, and then the Vampire Diaries, and all of it, and and Dracula, of course. But I'm just a huge vampire fan. I love like the gothic horror romance,
Mhm.
like the gothic romance, not so much like the Twilight type romance
Right.
nowadays. But that's what I love to read. So when I started writing, it was just very natural for me to kind of do my own vampire story. So
Do you think your writing leans darker than some of what you've read, or how would you
yes,
describe it in comparison?
It didn't start out that way. It started out very like typical urban fantasy, and then as the plot and the characters evolved over each book in the series, it got more emotional and more darker as the main character sort of reflects more on herself and the issues that she faces. It started getting darker, and there's a couple of scenes that like involve like dark magic, like alchemy, and there's
Mhm.
one part where there's dream magic involved, where her subconscious actually goes into hell.
Okay.
So it does get kind of like, it's not horror, it's not scary,
Right.
but it's dark in like, I guess, in like a psychological way, I guess.
Right.
A lot of the readers, like I said, like I didn't even intend to write dark, but it just kind of happened, and the readers were the ones who, in the reviews, started calling it dark fiction or dark fantasy, and I was like, I never thought of it that way, but yeah.
So did you not expect it to go that direction as you
No,
began
I
writing the
didn't.
series?
The first book was where I did the most world building and the most plot building and the most character building, just because it was brand new, the first book.
Right.
But I spent at least a solid 6 months building the whole world and the characters and the backstory and everything. So when I sat down and started writing, from like the middle of book one onward, the characters kind of just took over.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much just, the whole thing has been the main character and how she reacts to everything, and all the other characters that come in and interact with her, and the new problems that arise, and just how she handles it. So the plot grew very organically with the characters just took over. It's very character driven.
Where do you draw from as you're sort of trying to build these three-dimensional characters for your stories?
Everything. Originally, I just wanted to write an urban fantasy that focused more on the bad guys, I guess, more on the paranormal characters.
Okay.
There's really no human characters in my series.
Okay.
The main character becomes a vampire in chapter 2, and from then on, it's just kind of exploring the world, the new, like, she has to adjust to like a nocturnal schedule, and she has to adjust to feeding on blood and like all those things. Like when I used to read, like I said, I'm a big vampire fan, but
Right.
it was always like the human is the main character and the
Right.
vampires are secondary characters. I'm like, no, I wanted to really dive into the vampire world, kind of like Anne Rice did,
Mhm.
and just explore like what it would be like to be a vampire. So I guess I pulled everything from that idea, and then I just kind of ran with it. Like, well, how would I react? Like, if I turned into a vampire, like, how would I react to blood? Like, would I be grossed out?
Right.
Would I enjoy it since that's what I like now? So it was just kind of that sort of what if, and I just pulled from that and like went with it.
All right. What was it like connecting with fans, like seeing the reviews and connecting to people
Awesome.
who've read what you've done and these conventions and things like that?
It's very cool. it never ceases to amaze me. Like, I'm always surprised when I come to these things, just the reactions, because I guess writing and like publishing, especially once you've written something, there's like a sort of stage fright that goes with publishing.
Mhm.
There's always that, well, what if my book sucks? You know, like
Right.
everyone like trashes it. And when you see things like Stephanie Meyer and E.L. James, like 50 Shades,
Right.
like the way the media kind of reacts to those
Right.
kind of books and like trashes
You start
them
getting
all
some
the time.
backlash.
Yeah. And especially as a vampire author, you kind of worry. You're like, oh my god, like does nobody like vampires anymore? And you worry about
Right.
it. So, but then I get such awesome reviews. I do get bad reviews every once in a while, but I want to say for every bad review I get like 10 positive reviews.
Yeah.
So it doesn't bother me anymore. And then when I come to conventions like this, the readers are so nice, and they react like they're at a concert almost. I mean, I'm like a rock star. Like it's so humbling, I guess.
Yeah. And this convention's a little different. Like, I've done some genre
Yeah.
ones, but you know, there are some more romance writers here, but it's a different feel of convention than what I'm used
This
to.
is very different. This is my first time doing TNEE,
Okay.
but I've done lots of other conventions in the past. This one, I was telling Stella, this was actually my favorite so far that I've done, because it is smaller, but there's more readers here, so
Right.
it's more intimate almost. And I've met more readers here at the Novel Experience event than I have in any other convention. Because all the other conventions I've gone to are like more like they're more writing or more publishing or more marketing based, you know.
Right.
So it's like it's great for me to go to learn, but it's really hard to connect with the readers unless you're like already a best-selling author.
Right.
This one's much more intimate with the readers. Like you're literally sitting with the readers and chatting with them.
Yeah.
It's so nice, and they act like you're so special, even though like to me it's like, oh, I just read a book, you know. Like,
Now you have the new novella coming out connected to this
Yes.
series. Can you tell a
Yes.
little bit about the new piece?
yeah, it's called The Warrioress, and what I do with the novellas is I kind of the novellas feature some of the minor characters in the Emma Marx series.
Okay.
And goes, because I write vampires, they're very old, so their backstory is very long. So, but I have they have fans, like the minor characters have a lot of fans. So I thought it'd be cool to write novellas that kind of go into like their backstory and explain like how they got into the situation that they're in now in the main series.
Right.
So the Warrioress features a character named Maria, who in the main series is, like I said, a minor character, but she plays a big role, like kind of behind the scenes almost. She plays a big role that has an effect on the main character, Emma. So the Warrioress is all about Maria, thousands of years ago, and how she originally got involved in the main plot. And like, it's kind of a romance. It's also how she met her husband, who's
Okay.
also a vampire, and like how they found love. And the first time that they met, like the villain in the main story, was back then. And it just kind of like the novella just kind of connects into the
Connects
main
everything
series.
together.
So yeah.
What do you see in the future? Like continuing this same world, or is there other things that you're thinking of exploring, or what do you see happening with your
There's
writing?
so much I want to
do.
I have a lot of plans, but I don't want to spoil anything. I want to finish the main Emma Marx series. I'm thinking 6 books, possibly 7. I want to continue with the novellas, but what I want to do is when Emma's series ends, I want to continue a spin-off.
Okay.
And I won't say any more about that because
Right, okay.
I don't want to give things away. But I do want to continue a spin-off, and with the spin-off, I want to continue the novellas that go into the backstory of the minor characters.
Okay. So you're not leaving
So-
all those characters behind then.
You're right. So they'll continue over into the spin-off series. I have no idea how many books I'm going to do yet for the spin-off series, but I just love doing the story in the world that I created, so it can be ongoing. I don't care.
Excellent.
There are other like brand new series, like ideas that I have on the
Okay.
back burner. I have other manuscripts that I've started for brand new projects.
Like you've started drafting a few things
Yeah,
out?
yeah. I
Okay.
started drafting a few new ideas. No idea yet when they'll be done because I like to focus on the Emma series because that's what my fans like
Right.
right now. So I try to publish at least a book or two a year in that series just to keep my readers happy. But I'm hoping next year I'll have a brand new series published, I'm hoping, so we'll see how that goes.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you.